as a result of the complex of causes and conditions that we commonly say that milk exists. It is the same for the cloth. 3. Moreover, it is as a result of color, smell, taste, and tangible in the state of ultimate atoms that particles of hair exist. As a result of the particles of hair, there are hairs. As a result of hairs, there is fluff. As a result of fluff, there is thread. As a result of thread, there is cloth. As a result of cloth, there is a garment. If the causes and conditions, namely, color, smell, taste and tangible in the state of ultimate atoms were lacking, there would be no hair particles. The hair particles not existing, there would be no hair. The hairs not existing, there would be no fluff. The fluff not existing, there would be no thread. The thread not existing, there would be no cloth. The cloth not existing, there would be no garment. 2. Debate with the atomist. The atomist. It is impossible that every object exists indiscriminately only by virtue of the complex of causes and conditions. Thus, the ultimate atoms, because of their extreme subtlety, have no parts and, having no parts, have no complex. Being coarse, cloth is susceptible to being torn, but how could the ultimate atom, that has no parts, be broken? Answer. 1. The extremely tiny does not exist. This is said mistakenly. Why? Because coarseness and subtleness are relative concepts. The subtle exists in contrast with the coarse, and this subtle always has something more subtle than itself. 2. Moreover, if there existed a substance in the state of ultimate atom, it would entail tenfold spatial division. 1. But if it entailed the tenfold spatial division, it would not be a question of the ultimate atom. On the other hand, if there is not tenfold spatial division, it is not a question of matter. 3. Furthermore, if the ultimate atom existed, it would have spatial subdivision. 1. But if there is subdivision, it cannot be a question of the ultimate atom. 4. If the ultimate atom existed, color, smell, taste and touchable would occur as a function of the parts. But it cannot be a question of the ultimate atom there where color, smell, taste, and touchable function as parts. Try as one may to argue about the ultimate atom, this is why it cannot be established. The Sutra says, all matter, whether coarse or subtle, inner or outer, if considered generally, is transitory and non-substantial, but it does not say that ultimate atoms exist. This is called the emptiness of the division into parts. 3. The object, subjective creation, and emptiness. Moreover, for those who contemplate emptiness, matter exists as a function of the mind. Thus these contemplatives see matter as being earth, water, fire, or wind, as being blue, yellow, red, or absolutely empty. One and in the same way they can contemplate the 10 views of the object as totality of the object. 1. Dharakhandhaka Sutta. The Buddha, who was dwelling on Gridrakutta Parvata, went one day to the city of Rajagrha along with the assembly of bhiksus. Seeing a large piece of wood in the middle of the path, the Buddha spread out his mat, sat down and said to the monks, a bhiksu entered into trance and, endowed with mastery of mind, would be able to change this big piece of wood into earth, and this would be real earth. Why? Because the earth element exists in the wood. He would also be able to change it into water, into fire, into wind, into gold, into silver, and into all kinds of precious substances. And they would all be real. Why? Because the elements of all these things exist in the wood. 2. Moreover, it is the same as in the case of a beautiful woman. The voluptuous man who sees her, takes her to be a pure wonder and his heart clings to her. The ascetic given to contemplation of the disgusting, on looking at this woman, finds all sorts of defects without any beauty. Her rival, when she sees her, feels jealousy, hatred and bad feelings. She does not want to look at her, as if she were ugly. On looking at this woman, The voluptuous man feels pleasure. The jealous, sadness. The ascetic finds the path. The unprejudiced man feels neither attraction nor repulsion. It is as if he was looking at a piece of wood. If this beauty were truly pure, the four men who were looking at it should all see it as fine. If it were truly ugly, all should see it as ugly. But, as this is not the case, we know that beauty and ugliness are in the mind and outwardly there is nothing fixed. It is as if one were looking at the void. 3. Finally, because the 18 emptinesses are found in matter, it appears as empty on being examined. Being empty, it is non-existent. In the same way, all wealth resulting from causes and conditions is empty and absolutely non-existent. V. Non-existence of the donor. Why is the donor non-existent? Because, like the cloth, he exists as a result of the complex of causes and conditions. If we examine the cloth part by part, we see that it is non-existent. It is the same for the donor. We call a portion of space enclosed within the four great elements body. When this body thinks, moves about and acts, when it walks, stops, sits down or arises, we commonly call it a man. But considering it part by part, it is non-existent. Moreover, the Atman is absent in all the aggregates, elements, and bases of consciousness. Since the Atman does not exist, the donor does not exist. Why? Because the Atman is given all kinds of names. Man, God, male, female, donor, recipient, suffering person, fortunate person, animal, etc. There are only names, there is no true reality in them. Question. If the donor does not exist, who is this bodhisattva who is practicing the virtue of generosity? Answer. He is a simple name existing as a result of the complex of causes and conditions, but with no more reality than a house or a chariot. Non-existence of the Atman. 1. The Atman is not an object of consciousness. Question. Why does the Atman not exist? Answer. We have already said above when we were explaining the phrase of Ammaya Srutamikasminsam, but we will repeat it. The Buddha spoke of 6 consciousnesses. 1. The I consciousness and the dharmas associated with the I consciousness together take color as object, but are not concerned with houses, cities, and other nominal fictions of all kinds. 2-5. Similarly, the consciousnesses of ear, nose, tongue, and body are concerned with sound, smell, taste and touchable respectively. 6. The mental consciousness and the dharmas associated with